Hey everyone, and hey Dimple in particular. This is the video about my yoga journey that I promised to share with you. What I will do is I will either, depending a bit on how long I will be talking, I will give you the story, how I got to teach yoga and how I got to do the yoga teacher training at first, how I got to teach yoga, and the gigs that I materialized for myself. So throughout the story will be all the teachings that I'm living, right? Let's see if I can come to a conclusion for you. But actually, I can already tell you the conclusion is what we believe, what we think, what we feel, that is the reality that we will experience. So if for whatever reason at the moment you are not living your yoga dream in terms of what you want to create for yourself, there lies the answer. Like, what are you saying to yourself? What are you believing? And what do you think you are worthy? Because in the end, everything boils down to, what do you believe that you are worthy of experiencing? So let's get into the story. Shall I start at the end? No, let's start at the beginning. I had no idea that I would be teaching yoga ever in my life. Like, seriously, it was not a dream of mine at all. But there were times in my life that I would mention something with regards to yoga that now, connecting the dots backward, they made sense. One of them is that I would say to my mom, I think I was 12, maybe I was younger. I was still living at home, obviously. And I said to my mom, I think based on something that I saw on television, I said to her, if I will ever do a yoga teacher training, I will do it in India. Super random, like really super random, because yoga was not, like, it was not an interest of mine at all, ever. Well, probably it definitely was on a completely different level, but not on my conscious level. So then when I was together with one of my partners, I said to him at one point, I said, yoga wants something from me, but I don't know what. And then a couple of years later, I was in India. I felt deeply in love with the yoga that my teacher was teaching me, and I found him in a really crazy way that I won't go into now. I will go into in another video if you guys are interested, but just let me know in the comments, then I will give you the story. And through him, he was the brother of the man who became the teacher of my teacher training. And yeah, and how I got to do the teacher training was like this. So 2018, I visited India for the first time, fell in love with yoga through Mitra. Mitra is the brother of Vinny, and Yoga Vinny was where I did my teacher training in Rishikesh. And I was home from my trip to India. I decided I would never ever go again. Like, I had the most horrendous last couple of days in India. I was so sick, like it felt like Mother India broke me open inside. And it was just like, nah, I'm never going back. This was horrendous. And then I'm sitting in my kitchen in Berlin at the time, and I hear this voice saying, you have to do the yoga teacher training. And I literally said, what the fuck? Forget it. I'm not doing the yoga teacher training. But I'm a good girl, and I really know this voice. And I was like, shit. I have to. I don't want to, like that. And then I said to the voice, you know what? You want me to do the teacher training? You get me the money. Because I didn't have the money in my account to do the teacher training, let alone buy a ticket to India or anything else. And then everything came together in the most magical way, of course, allowing me to not only find the teacher training, but also be able to pay for it. Okay, fast forward to me having done the teacher training. Everyone was telling me, you want to find a job as a yoga teacher? Good luck. You know that first you will sub for ages and only then you get your own class, if you're lucky. Well, my friends, you know what happened? So I was back in Berlin. It was amazing. It was extremely painful. It was everything that you can imagine, both good and bad. And I felt on top of the world. And I thought to myself, you know what? Not only I thought, I said to myself, the way that yoga found me and I got to do the teacher training, I know that this is part of my purpose. So I will find the perfect place to teach. I went online because actually I was looking for a school to practice yoga, to keep up with my practice. I went online, I found this yoga school I didn't even know existed, which had the same postal code as mine, which means it would be around the corner from where I was living somewhere, or maybe even in the same street. Turned out it was around the corner. I called them up and I said, hi, I'm Monique, listen, blah, blah, blah. Story, I just finished my yoga teacher training. I'm looking for somewhere where I can teach. So what ended up happening was this. The owner of the studio liked it so much that I called her and that I didn't just email her. She invited me to come by and have a chat with her. So I went by, had a chat with her, told her the story of how everything went and that I was certain that I was supposed to teach yoga because of everything that had transpired and how everything went. And she was like, you know what? I want to give you an opportunity to have your own class. So then and then you can teach this and this class. And if I like what I see, then you can teach here. And I was like, fuck. But also like, yeah, of course. Sidestep here. Do you hear and do you see and do you feel how convinced I was that I was supposed to teach yoga? I made it mean that I was supposed to teach yoga. If it's the truth, I don't know. But how everything transpired me doing this teacher training and how I found my teacher, and like that was just like out of this world. There was no pushing from my side. There was not even a wanting to do yoga. It was like yoga wanted me to do yoga. That's how I felt. So the day came, I had to teach this class. Oh my God, I was dying. There were so many people in this class as well. And the owner of the studio that had allowed me to do this class as a trial, she was there as well. So you can imagine the nerves I was in. So it ended well. It was a lovely class. She liked it. And she said, okay, you can have your own class. And just like that, an unexperienced teacher got her own class at first trial. And that is kind of unheard of. Normally, what society, collective consciousness makes you believe. But of course, we are conscious creators and we know better. So I had my own class. I had a couple of students that absolutely loved the class, and I got more and more secure within my teaching. So Dimple, I know that you have already been on this path for 10 years, you said. So I don't know where it is that you are now in your journey, but the fact that you are listening to my videos means that you are learning more about conscious creation and how you can create the most amazing gigs for yourself. And anyone else watching this. So what happened shortly after was Corona happened, which means that everything closed down. And I had decided at one point that I didn't want to teach for the studio anymore because I didn't feel free to be me. And I'm not a person that works for someone else. And sometimes I fall back into this trap, and actually I also know that whenever I do, it is for a purpose. because all the part-time gigs that I have done ever since that I became self-employed always have brought me a deeper level of understanding, have brought me in touch with people that have been able to mean something for the journey that I am on. So it's never for nothing, and it's always for me. And that's not only an amazing belief to have, it's also the truth. Because I'm already talking for over 10 minutes, I'm going to go to one of the last gigs that I materialized. And then if you're interested in hearing more, just tell me in the comments, and be specific as well. And then I can give you some examples from my own life. So one of the most amazing gigs that I materialized was one that allowed me to make 100 euros an hour, which is, yeah, that's not nothing. And it was teaching on camera on a stage with a mic, with cameras on me, people also in the class, and it was aired in app for a week after that. So how I got to do this was through a series of coincidences, which are kind of a bit too much to go into now, but I will tell you this. It was a wish of mine to have a gig that paid, yeah, a considerable amount of money per hour, which I materialized. And I also loved being on stage. I loved challenging myself, having to, because everything was live, and also mistakes were not really done because it was in app for a week, right? So I had to be on top of my game every time that I stepped onto this stage. Yeah, this is all for now because I've been talking a lot. The moral of the story is we have to get that wish out of, not out of there, we have to get that wish out there. We have to know that it will transpire in the most amazing way, and people, circumstances, and everything will line up for you to be able to say yes to the thing that you were wishing for. And you can't make any wrong decisions. You can't, is it digress or divert from the path? Because everything leads you to that thing. You might kind of take a detour, which I don't really believe is possible either. But yeah, it's all for the grabs. It's all for us, and we create in our little bubble of reality everything that we wish for, everyone that we need, and all the information we need to understand how we consciously create, on a deeper and deeper and better and the most amazing levels that there are possible. Like this video. You're not watching this because it's a coincidence. You're watching this because you are meant to hear this. Okay, that's all for now. Ask me anything, and I will see if I can make a new video for you.